Hello everyone, FrenchNX here. Welcome back to Scrap Mechanic. The following video is a follow-up to the previous video I did with all the logic gates. Once you've got logic gates working, the next step up in the evolution of gates is to make a T-FlipFlop. This allows for the concept of state or memory, which you could use in a number of applications, one of them which I'm about to show here. I have a door. I would like to open it with a button so that I don't have to worry about closing the door behind me. If I use a switch here, or a toggle panel, and I pressed it, the door would stay open and I'd have to come back out here and hit that button to close it. So we don't want that. Let's get rid of that. Instead, let's have a button that we can just push and the door opens. We can come back through. Now what's also great about this is I can be on the other side of the door and close it behind me. That uses the concept of a T-FlipFlop, where I can have multiple inputs, and anytime I give it an input, it will toggle state between high and low. So again, push the button, it opens, and now I can close the button, close the door with either button. This one, or the front one. Feeling this is going to open up a lot of really cool builds if other people catch on to what's possible with this. And I can show you what I built here, but I'm not going to go into too much detail because this is actually a bad way to do it. But what I did is after I built the pulse lengthener, I realized, you know what, this is actually very easy to make a T-FlipFlop out of. And all I had to do was add this little arm here and add a sensor. And whenever this thing rotates, when it's pointing to the right, it's on, and when it's pointing to the left, it would be off because the arm wouldn't be long enough. You can see that. Oh, come on. There we go. Remember, I have this one intentionally slow for the pulse lengthener so I can lengthen as long as possible. But yeah, this is a door that closes on its own. If you want one that actually remembers its state, you can just add another 3 blocks and a sensor, and you've got a T-FlipFlop. So knowing that, I went and I tried to compact it as much as possible and make this thing super small. So I'm going to do a few things really quick. Hopefully don't break it while I'm doing this. Oh, come on. All right, so on the bottom, we have the OR gate, and this is a 3-input OR gate. So I've got the first one, which goes to the button in the front of the door, the second one, which goes to the button in the back of the door, and the third one, which goes to the output of the bottom sensor that detects the rotation of our weird gear here. So if we go ahead and hit this button real quick, you can see this thing rotates and then triggers that sensor, which will open the door. And it's going to stay there. It's not going to move. But then as soon as I push the button again, it'll rotate around and it'll close the door. And then it'll stay there. So again, just to demonstrate that, push the button, opens, and closes. Pretty awesome. All right, so now let's go to a better design. Here's one. This is actually a better door too, because it's got a sliding door. Oops. Got to press it a little bit longer than just toggling it. There's a sliding door. And it opens. And you can close it from the other side. All right, now how does that work? This uses an OR gate and a piston. That's all it does. Let me take off this top piece so that we can actually see it a little bit better. And again, well, this is a four input OR gate, but one of them is just this button here, so I can show it working. And this is the extender or the piston that we built a long time ago, where it just kind of bends these 3 elbows to slide a block along. And I have this this bottom one here. It's detecting. It's kind of hard because I built it out of the same material, but right now it's hitting this, which is part of the same, let's call it grid, and so it's not turned on. But as soon as you protrude the piston, it detects there's something in the way and turns the sensor on and closes the door. So that uses this concept of the looping bearing, or the looping controller, sorry. So what I have is I have a brake period at the beginning. Then I have the piston, which is a positive 90, negative 180, positive 90. This is just because I've rotated them differently, why they're all the same. But the same thing we built in the piston. And then I have a gap again, and then I have the opposite to kind of restore it to its state. Because remember, when you have looping mode, it does the 1, 2, 3, 4, skips all these because they're blank, and goes back to 1, 2, 3, 4. So we could run this in a loop, and it will go pause, open, pause, close, pause, open, pause, close. And that allows us to have this concept of memory, because we're going to pause here. That's our close state. Then we're going to open and pause here, and that'll be our open state. Close state. So much better than that rotating thing. The rotating is cool. I like it, and definitely can be used for the pulse extender. But this one is much better for the T-FlipFlop. I built in a few extra things, because if I take these out, and so that sensor's not doing anything, I have to actually hold this button down for quite a while to make this piston trigger. Well, not a huge amount of time, but you can see if I don't hold it long enough, it kind of gets all messed up. Let's see it over here. Yeah, you see it, I hold it long enough. One thing that can help me that is this guy, adding a few blocks here. I think just 2. Let's see. Whoa. 3 blocks. What that does is that uses the concept that we had over here with this arm, where we give it an initial input, and then this sensor detects that there's something moving and triggers the OR gate to keep it moving, if that makes sense. So I only have to start it moving, and then the sensor will keep the input down with the OR gate to move it, to keep it moving. I don't know. That also works. I've optimized the OR gate by setting it to a positive 25 initial degrees and negative 25 on the thing. So that's 1 degree short of where you need to go to trigger this sensor. So you can see as soon as I hit it, it triggers that sensor. And now you don't have to hold it down nearly as long. Just enough to start it moving. And then this rooftop on the top helps it from going off track. Pretty cool. I like the sliding door. Sliding door is the exact same concept as just a piston over here. Go through the door, close it, and it's open. Automated facilities. So yeah, either one of these works. One's a little more compact and more reliable. The problem with a few of these is that when you log out and log back in, looping controllers will just constantly start activating, and they will just keep going through their states. So you have to either turn off looping or turn the button on to stop them. I don't know. It's pretty complicated. I know it's a bug because it happens pretty much every time, and it shouldn't, because there's no input going to them and they just keep rotating. Hopefully they get that fixed. But there you go, guys. That is 2 concepts, 2 prototypes for a T-FlipFlop. I'm sure you guys can improve it, make it a little bit better, but as you can see, that pretty much the most important part of it is the looping controller. Set to open and close, and to remember its state using these pause channels. And so yeah, you could probably have multiple states if you wanted to. I'm thinking elevators, maybe have 1st floor, 2nd floor, 3rd floor, something like that. I don't know. You could it would be pretty complex, but I think you can use this concept to make an elevator that you could have buttons on every floor, and based on which button you press, the elevator would go to that floor. Maybe I'll do it someday. That right now it seems daunting, but it's probably possible. You probably have to daisy chain a few of these state machines together and have a crazy number of controllers. But yeah, hope you guys liked it. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and comment below if you have any suggestions or improvements or questions. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Catch you later. Bye.